Welcome to the Old Time Radio Westerns. I'm your host, Andrew Rhynes, and I'm excited to bring you another episode absolutely free. This is one of over 80 episodes released monthly for your enjoyment. Now, let's get into this episode.
Horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty Hi-Yo Silver, the Lone Ranger. Before this exciting adventure, a word from our sponsor. General Mills, makers of Cheerios, the oat cereal that's ready to eat, Betty Crocker Mixes, and Wheaties, the breakfast of champions, present by special recording The Lone Ranger.
Hello, this is the Lone Ranger. The other day I was watching a cowboy trying to break an outlaw horse. That bronc was plenty mean, and the cowboy was having a tough time trying to stick in the saddle. So a couple of the boys around the corral started to serenade the cowboy like this.
Have you tried Wheaties? They're whole wheat with all of the bran. Won't you try Wheaties? For wheat is the best food of man.
Well, the cowboy tamed the horse, just like man tamed the West with the help of wheat. It was the vast western prairies that attracted the white man, land on which to grow wheat to be made into flour, to give man the energy it takes to live in a frontier country. Today, you can get that same frontier wheat energy, and here's how.
Keep on eating your Wheaties, and you'll be doing okay.
With his faithful Indian companion Tonto, the daring and resourceful masked rider of the plains led the fight for law and order in the early western United States. Nowhere in the pages of history can one find a greater champion of justice. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver. Let's go, big fellow. Hi-Yo, Silver! Hooray!
Dr. Frank Rockford approached a small farmhouse in the foothills, several miles inland from Eagle Pass, Texas.
Oh, there, easy.
He stood a moment waiting as his 10-year-old daughter Sally ran to meet him.
Hello, Daddy.
Hi.
Did you bring me something from town?
No, Sally, not this time.
Oh.
Maybe next time, honey. You run along and play. I have to talk to your mother.
All right, Daddy.
Frank, I didn't expect you back from Milton so soon.
I didn't stay, Mary. I saw a handbill in front of the marshal's office this morning. It said, "Wanted on suspicion of murder, Dr. Rockford.
Oh.
Clean-shaven, medium height, blue eyes."
But no one would recognize you with that heavy beard and with the different name.
Perhaps not. But it was a shock reading that handbill. And even though we've convinced Sally our name is now Frankfurt and that I'm a farmer, I'm always afraid she may run into somebody and make a slip.
Frank, we know you didn't kill anyone.
The facts were against me, Mary. I couldn't stay in Kansas City and face a trial.
I almost wish you had, Frank. I know how worried you are, but maybe if you gave yourself up...
No, I can't do it. I'll manage somehow, as long as you stick by me. I'll go work in the field.
That afternoon, the Lone Ranger and his Indian companion Tonto headed south toward Eagle Pass on the Rio Grande. As they approached the entrance to the doctor's farm, Tonto pointed and spoke.
Look, Kemosabe. Little girl near trail. There's small dog and ground.
The dog seems to be hurt. We'll stop a moment. Oh, Silver,
Oh,
oh.
Scout. Oh, fella.
Hello there, little girl. What's the matter with your dog? Easy, steady,
Easy, Scout. Easy, fella.
Golly, a masked man.
Don't be afraid. Is your dog hurt?
No, I'm playing doctor. But Rags won't lie still. All right, Rags, you can get up now.
Where did you get that doctor's bag? That's not a toy.
Oh, no, it's real. I found it in Daddy's closet.
May I look at it?
Sure. Here.
Thanks. Oh, is your father a doctor?
He's a farmer. He told me so.
What's your name, little girl?
Sally Frankfurt.
Oh, there's a card glued inside the bag. Dr. Frank Rockford. The doctor must have left this with your father.
I don't know. I found it in the closet.
Well, I'm sure your father wouldn't want you to use these instruments, Sally. Perhaps you better take the bag back and put it where you found it. Here.
All right, mister. Is he a wild Indian?
Oh, me plenty tame, Sally.
Tonto's my friend, Sally.
Do you always wear a mask?
Well, most of the time, but never mind the mask. Take the bag back before your father misses it.
All right. Come on, Rags. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Sally. Easy, steady, big fella.
Easy, Scout. Easy, fella.
Strange a farmer would have a doctor's kit in the house, Tonto.
Ah.
All right, let's go. I want to reach Eagle Pass by sundown. Come on,
Get him up,
Silver.
Scout.
By the time the masked man and Indian reached the outskirts of Eagle Pass and stopped to make camp, a steady rain was falling.
Oh, Silver. Oh, easy, steady, big fella.
Easy, Scout.
We'll build a lean-to, Tonto, for shelter.
Ah. Rain needed plenty much. It's been dry long time.
Yes, I hope it rains enough to do some good. Let's get busy, Tonto.
The Lone Ranger's hope was not in vain. The rain continued to fall heavily for the next 3 days. The morning of the third day, Tonto returned from a trip into town.
We bring back handbill from town, Kemosabe. Here, 3.
Oh, I'll look them over. One on the outlaw, Tex Logan. Last we heard of him, he was up near El Paso.
That's right.
Here's one about an escaped prisoner thought to be in Stockton territory. The third one is about a doctor from Kansas City, wanted as a murder suspect. Dr. Rockford. Tonto, we'll go... Wait. The name Dr. Rockford was on a card in the medical kit we saw the little girl playing with a few days ago.
That's right.
Tonto, the rain is letting up. We'll ride up the river trail first and search for that escaped prisoner. Then we'll go back to that farm near Milton and have a talk with Sally's father.
Oh, it's a good idea.
We'll leave right now. Perhaps by noon the rain will have stopped. All right, let's get the horses.
Later, as the two men rode up the Rio Grande Trail, the rain stopped falling. The Lone Ranger was saying,
Otto, though the rain has stopped, I've noticed something.
Huh? What that?
The water in the Rio Grande seems to be rising steadily. I don't like it.
It's still far down from top of bank.
Yes, I know. But I remember a few years ago, after a prolonged rain, when the river fed by streams in the mountainous regions to the north reached flood proportions.
Oh, me remember.
The terrain around Eagle Pass and on down from there is fairly flat. If the waters do rise enough to overflow the banks of the river, many lives will be endangered. Ho, Silver, ho.
Oh, Scout. Oh, fella.
Otto, I don't think the people there will realize the danger.
What we do?
We'll go back and warn them before it's too late. Come on, Silver.
Come up, Scout.
It was dusk when the Lone Ranger and Tonto rode along a back street and stopped at the sheriff's office in Eagle Pass. The masked man identified himself to the sheriff, then convinced him that there was danger of a flood within a short time. The sheriff, with a worried expression on his face, asked,
Great day, mister. What'll we do? What do you suggest?
I suggest the women and children be sent to higher ground in all available wagons. Then the men must build a dike of sandbags along the riverbank bordering the town. Above and below the town, the canyon walls are high enough to retain the floodwaters.
Good idea. The riverbank is low only where it borders the town. A sandbag dike should keep us from being flooded out.
And someone should be sent to warn the people of Laredo.
I'll send a deputy to warn them. Let's go talk to the folks down by the river.
Right.
Most of the men of town were lined along the riverbank, watching the turbulent waters.
Hey, look. The sheriff with a masked man and Indians. Now listen, everybody. These are friends. You can take my word for that. They came here to warn us of danger. What danger? I'll let the masked man tell you that. Listen to what he has to say.
Men, there's no time to lose. The water will rise much higher. There's danger of a flood here in Eagle Pass and south of here, too.
The rain stopped, mister. The water will be going down before long.
Oh, you're wrong. The water will drain from the hills. The flood crest will come later, I'm sure of it. We must take the women and children to high ground, then build a levee of sandbags. We must act now, or it will be too late.
Hey, look up the river. Big wave moving down this way.
The first flood crest, and it will be followed by a bigger one. Hurry, get the women and children out of town. Eagle Rock may soon be underwater.
We'll continue our Lone Ranger adventure in just a moment. When the weather's bad, do you and your friends ever hang around the house wondering what to do? Well, I'll bet it happens lots. Well, you know where you can have the most fun? In the kitchen, with a package of the new Betty Crocker Brownie Mix. That's right. It's easy as can be to bake up a big batch of luscious chocolatey brownies with Betty Crocker Brownie Mix. Everything you need is right in the package. Just add 1 egg if you like the chewy, fudgy kind of brownies, and 2 eggs if you want them soft and tender like cake. Add nuts, too, if you like. Either way, Betty Crocker brownies are the gee-I-can't-eat-em-fast-enough kind. Even if you've never baked before, you'll turn out scrumptious, chocolatey, perfect brownies the very first time. And what fun you and your gang will have eating brownies that you baked yourselves. Have Mom get Betty Crocker Brownie Mix next time she shops. Then invite your friends over for some fun. Now to continue. The skepticism of the crowd vanished when they saw the threatening crest of water moving down toward them. The first crest passed, leaving the water lapping over the top of the riverbank. The Lone Ranger averted panic by putting the men to work evacuating the women and children and filling sandbags for a levee. A line of wagons left the town and headed toward the hills. The men who stayed behind worked frantically to build a retaining wall of sandbags along the low section of the riverbank before the expected large flood crest arrived. A full moon shone brightly on the hard-working men as they toiled through the night. Mexicans from the small settlement of Piedras Negras streamed across the wooden bridge from the Mexican side of the river by wagon and burro. Toward morning, the Lone Ranger spoke to the sheriff.
Sheriff, the bridge better be closed to prevent loss of life. The water's washing over it. It may go out.
Yeah, I reckon you're right. I think most everybody who wanted to cross has come over. I'll notify the bridge guard.
A short time later, one of the townsmen pointed to the bridge and shouted excitedly.
Hey, look! The bridge is shaking like it's going to give way. And there's an old Mexican trying to walk across. He won't make it. He's clinging to the bridge rails. He'll get down with the bridge.
That man needs help.
Nobody can reach him, mister. That bridge is about to go out.
I'll try to get to him.
Wait! You can't make it!
Easy, steady, big fella. Come on, Silver!
Urging the great horse Silver forward, the masked man quickly reached the shaky bridge.
Easy, Silver, easy, boy.
The men along the riverbank watched tensely as the Lone Ranger rode toward the center of the bridge, where the old Mexican, panic-stricken, clung to the bridge railing.
Hang on, I'll help you. Come on, Silver.
A few moments later, he reached the old man's side.
Oh, Silver, ho. I'll help you climb up behind me. Now, hurry.
Gracias, senor, but it's no use.
Give me your hand. Don't give up. Here.
The bridge, soon it goes.
You try to get ashore before it does. Hang on tightly. Come on, Silver. Easy, big fellow. We must make it.
Risking certain death, the Lone Ranger guided the great stallion carefully back toward Eagle Pass. The crowd watched spellbound as rumble after rumble told of the imminent destruction of the wooden structure. Then, just as Silver reached the end of the bridge...
Look out, there it goes!
Oh, Silver, ho. Now I'll help you down. There. Easy. Steady, big fellow.
Mil gracias, senor. You saved my life.
By thunder, I never thought you'd make it. If you'd been a minute later...
Look over there!
Wait, hey, look. A wall of water coming down the river.
The flood crest. I hope and pray that levee holds.
Keep back, everybody!
The sandbags held as the flood crest passed, leaving the water level higher than ever. All that day, the men worked, stopping leaks and strengthening the levee with more sandbags. The following morning, the waters were receding slowly, when one of the men who had gone to take the women and children to safety rode to find the sheriff.
Sheriff, an epidemic of fever has broken out in the big temporary camp we made in the hills.
What?
We got to find a doctor.
Only doctor I know of is in Laredo, and they're likely having their own troubles. Anyway, we couldn't get through to them there. What do you think we ought to do, mister?
We'll go and do what we can for them, Sheriff. Of course, without proper medication, the situation may become desperate. Where is the camp located?
About a mile from Milton, back in the foothills.
Let's go, Tonto.
I'll go with you.
Easy, steady, big fella.
Easy, fella.
Come on, Silver!
Later, as the three men passed the doctor's farm on the way to the camp near Milton...
Easy, Silver, easy.
Easy, fella. Kimasabi.
Yes?
There where we see a little girl with dog the other day. Her playing doctor.
Yeah, she had a doctor's kit.
Where did she get a doctor's kit?
She said it belonged to her father, a farmer. I didn't question her further, but Tonto, you and the sheriff ride on. I'll join you later. And I may bring a doctor with me. I'm going to stop at that farmhouse. Come on, Silver!
Get up there! Come on!
A short time later, the Lone Ranger knocked on the door of the farmhouse.
Masked man, what?
Please forget the mask. I've come to talk to you. A matter of life and death.
Well, come in.
Thank you.
Who is it, Frank? Oh, a masked man.
Don't be frightened.
Why have you come here?
To talk to you, Dr. Rockford.
Doctor, he
Let
called
me
you...
handle this, Mary. Mister, I don't know who you are, but my name is Frankfurt, and I'm a farmer.
I saw your little girl playing with a doctor's bag a few days ago. The name Dr. Rockford was in it.
I don't know where she'd get such a thing.
She said it was yours. Also, I read a handbill about a Dr. Rockford. Frank Rockford of Kansas City. Middle-aged, clean-shaven. Of course, it would be simple to grow that beard as a disguise.
I don't know anything about Dr. Rockford. My name is Frankfurt.
Oh? Well, I'm sorry to hear it. You've heard about the flood, of course, and about the people camped in the hills near town?
Yes, we saw the wagons passing and heard the awful news.
An epidemic has broken out at their camp. Many may die unless they have a doctor's help.
Oh.
I was hoping you are, Dr. Rockford. I know all doctors take an oath to save lives. The situation is desperate.
Frank, Frank, you must help them. You must.
Then you are Dr. Rockford.
Yes, I am. I left Kansas City because I was to be charged with a murder I didn't commit. A patient, a woman, died after an operation. Her husband threatened to kill me. He was found dead on the trail, ambushed, and a gun belonging to me was found nearby. Someone took it from my office. I didn't do it. I left town to avoid arrest.
I understand. Will you come to the camp with me, Doctor? They need you very much.
Yes, I'll go. And later I'll give myself up to the authorities. I'll get my medical kit and we'll leave at once.
The Lone Ranger and the doctor rode hurriedly to the temporary camp.
Oh, Silver. Oh, easy. Steady, big fella.
Howdy, mister. I've been waiting for you.
Sheriff, I brought a doctor.
Well, thank heaven. Glad to see you, Doc.
Hello, Sheriff. I'll get right to work.
If there's anything I can do...
I have a small amount of medicine to combat the fever, but I'll need much more.
Doctor, I suggest you write down the name of the medicine you want, then have the sheriff go into Milton and telegraph San Antonio for a supply. It can be sent by special courier.
We must get it here as soon as possible.
Just write down what you want, Doc. I'll get it off by telegraph within half an hour.
The doctor's limited supply barely lasted until the medicine arrived from San Antonio. The Lone Ranger, under the doctor's directions, helped to give medication to the stricken people and to relieve the suffering. For 3 days and nights they worked unceasingly with very little rest. Finally, the doctor spoke encouragingly.
Mister, I think I can safely say the situation is well in hand now.
Good. You've done a wonderful job, Doctor.
Oh, here comes the sheriff. I think it's about time he learned the truth about me.
Whoa there, whoa. Steady there. Well, Doctor, thanks to you, things seem to be coming along fine. The folks sure are beholden to you and the masked man.
Thanks, Sheriff. There's something you ought to know.
Oh, I got some news for you, Doc.
News for me?
Uh-huh. The masked man believed in you. So I went into Milton last night and sent a telegram. Just got the answer. Here it is. Listen. Sheriff Fields, care of Milton office. Dr. Rockford no longer wanted by the law.
What?
Real murder apprehended. Signed, Marshal Billings, Kansas City.
I'm no longer a fugitive from justice?
Nope, you're free to go your way, Doc.
I don't know what to say. But now we'll give up the farm, and I'll practice again.
I'm very happy for you, Doctor. I think the people of Eagle Pass would like to have you settle there.
They sure would. How about it, Doc?
I'd like that. This is a wonderful country.
Tonto and I'll leave now to trail an escaped prisoner. Sheriff, I'm sure you'll have plenty of willing hands to take care of things in Eagle Pass.
Yep. Thanks to you, the water didn't do too much damage. As soon as possible, we'll move these folks back to their homes.
Good. Tonto's waiting over there with our horses. We'll meet again, Doctor. Adios.
Goodbye, Mister.
Come on, Silver.
Up, Scout.
Sheriff, I've met many men in my life, but he's the finest and most understanding I've ever met. Who is he?
I thought you knew by this time, Doc. He's an hombre who always puts his country and other people first. You see, he's the Lone Ranger.
The Lone Ranger, a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger Incorporated, is produced by Trendle Campbell Muir Incorporated. The part of the Lone Ranger is played by Brace Beamer. Your announcer, Fred Foy. Listen to The Lone Ranger, brought to you by special recording Mondays through Fridays at this same time.
This has been a presentation of OTRWesterns.com, and we hope you enjoyed. Please take some time to like and rate this episode within your favorite podcast application. Follow us on Facebook by going to OTRWesterns.com/Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel by going to OTRWesterns.com/YouTube. Become one of our ranch hands and unlock some exclusive content. We want to thank the following ranch hand, Steve, who joined us recently. You too can join by going to OTRWesterns.com/donate. Send us an email, podcast@OTRWesterns.com, and you can call and leave us a voicemail, 707-986-8739. This episode is copyright under the attribution, non-commercial, share-alike copyright. For more information, go to otrwesterns.com/copyright. Have a great day, and thanks for listening.